You've been curling for months. You've done the pushdowns, the kickbacks, the rope extensions. You've watched your biceps respond, even a little, but your arms still look exactly the same in a fitted shirt. So your biceps have almost nothing to do with arm size. The muscle you keep ignoring, the one that makes up 67% of your upper arm, is your tricep. And there's a very specific reason it refuses to grow, no matter how many sets you throw at it. In this video, we are going to go through the 3 mechanical and neurological errors that are quietly ensuring your triceps never respond. And we're going to show you exactly why the exercises you trust most are the very ones sabotaging you. Here is the fact that will change everything. Your tricep is not one muscle. It has 3 heads: the lateral, the medial, and the long head. The long head is the largest. It's the one that creates that thick, horseshoe shape you see on developed arms. It is the difference between arms that look trained and arms that look built. And here's the problem. The long head crosses your shoulder joint. This is not a minor anatomical detail. This is the entire game. Because it crosses the shoulder, it can only reach a full, deep stretch when your arm is positioned overhead. Every cable pushdown, every reverse grip extension, every kickback you've ever done, your arm is at your side, which means the long head is shortened, compressed, and functionally switched off for the entire movement. A 2023 study, published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, measured muscle growth specifically in the long head after 12 weeks of overhead tricep training versus pushdown training. The overhead group showed more than twice the hypertrophy in the long head compared to the pushdown group. Same volume, same effort, completely different result. Because one group was training in a stretched position and the other wasn't. If you've been doing exclusively pushdown movements, you haven't been training 67% of your upper arm. You've been doing 10 sets a week of work that barely touches the part of the muscle that actually makes arms look big. Now here's the second mistake, and this one is psychological. There's a bias that researchers call the effort heuristic. It's the deeply wired tendency to judge the quality of something based on how hard it feels, not what it actually produces. In a 2018 study from the University of Toronto, participants consistently rated outcomes as higher quality when they required more visible effort, regardless of actual results. Your brain is running this program every single time you train. The rope pushdown gives you an extraordinary pump. Your triceps swell, they burn, the veins come out, and your brain files all of that underproductive. But here's the physiology. That pump is primarily metabolic stress. It's lactic acid accumulation and cell swelling. It feels like growth. It is not growth. The research on hypertrophy is increasingly clear that the primary driver of muscle growth is mechanical tension under stretch, specifically loading a muscle when it is at its longest position. This is called stretch-mediated hypertrophy, and a shortened, compressed pushdown creates almost none of it. This is why gym goers across America report the same experience. Arms that pump up enormously during the workout then look completely identical 3 months later in a photo. Many gym goers hit an arm growth plateau after their first year of training, even when they stay consistent. The pump isn't lying about effort, but it can be misleading about growth. That burning, swollen feeling is mostly metabolic stress, not the mechanical tension that actually drives long-term muscle development. The third mistake is the one nobody talks about, because fixing it requires you to rethink your entire workout structure. Most people follow some version of this: bench press, then isolation tricep work. Chest day ends with cable pushdowns. This feels logical. You've already warmed the muscle up. But here's what's actually happening. Your triceps are the primary mover in every pressing movement you do. Bench press, overhead press, dips. By the time you arrive at your isolation work, your triceps have already completed 15 to 20 heavy sets of loaded compound work. They are not fresh. They are not responding to the stimulus you think you're giving them. You are doing high-rep, pump-focused work on a muscle group that is neurologically and metabolically depleted. There is a concept in sports science called residual fatigue interference, the documented effect of prior compound work reducing the neuromuscular output available for subsequent isolation exercises. A 2020 study in the European Journal of Sports Science found that when isolation exercises were performed after compound movements targeting the same muscle, subjects achieved 22% less peak force output compared to performing the same isolation exercise fresh. That 22% isn't just a performance number. Force output is the primary mechanical signal your body uses to determine whether a muscle needs to get bigger. You are sending a 22% weaker growth signal to a muscle you are spending 20 minutes trying to develop. The workout looks complete, the stimulus isn't. So here's how you fix all three at once. Replace at least 2 of your weekly tricep exercises with overhead movements. Overhead cable extensions, skull crushers performed with your arms angled past your head, or a dumbbell overhead extension taken slowly through a full range of motion. These are not variations. These are the primary exercise. Pushdowns become the accessory. And as you perform these movements, learn to distinguish between a productive burn and metabolic noise. The sensation you're looking for is a deep, pulling stretch at the bottom of the rep, in the back of your arm, near your armpit. That is mechanical tension on the long head. That is the signal that actually builds tissue. If you have never felt that before, it means you have never truly loaded the muscle that makes up 2/3 of your arm. And at least once a week, do your overhead isolation work at the beginning of your session, before any pressing movement. This is called a pre-activation protocol. It sends a fresh, maximal growth signal to the muscle before it's been worn down by compound lifts. And as a secondary benefit, it neurologically activates the long head before your bench press, which will actually make your pressing stronger. You are not sacrificing your chest workout. You are improving it. Most people will watch this, understand it completely, and go back to the same pushdown routine tomorrow. Not because they don't believe what they just heard, but because the moment that rope pump hits again, it will feel like progress. That's the effort heuristic working against you in real time, right when you're most convinced it isn't. But some of you are going to do an overhead extension today, and for the first time, you are going to feel a stretch in your tricep you have never felt before. Deep, uncomfortable, pulling from the back of your arm all the way to your shoulder. And when you feel it, you'll understand something that no amount of pushdowns ever showed you. That what you've been calling a tricep workout for months was never actually reaching your triceps at all. The muscle was there the whole time. You just weren't training it.